I feel as though in every fandom, there is at least one theory that is the Sans-ness of the fandom. For Ultra Kill, you have your V2 Prime Soul theory. For FNAF, it was Toy Chica's purple guy. And I think I might have just found the one for Hazbin Hotel. Hello again. The other day I was finishing some last bit of research for the Lute character analysis, which is coming soon, I hope, when I came across this theory from Season 1 of Hazbin Hotel. Here's the basic idea of the theory. The exorcist named Lute that we all know and love is actually not a heaven-born exorcist, but is instead secretly Eve. And when this is revealed in the show, her plan is to, yeah, I got no clue. That's it? That's the Lute is Eve theory? That was just saying Lute is Eve without any evidence! Fuck you! That last part was slightly joking. There is a little bit of evidence, however, the evidence itself isn't very good. Now, I don't want you to misunderstand me. I'm not trying to shoot down this theory and be like, no, it's wrong, and if you believe this theory, you're stupid. It's a dumb theory, but I can't say I've never had a crackpot theory myself. Anyways. But the thing with this theory is that if it is true, yay for the theory, but it kind of ruins Lute's character. Let me explain. Now, before I can give the evidence, I need to give a little backstory on Lute and Eve. First, Lute, since it's a little more simple, since her backstory is mysterious along with all the other exorcists, but that's not important right now. Lute is the lieutenant of Adam's exorcist army, who used to, at least, go down into hell once a year and exterminate as many sinners as they can to cut down the population. However, 1, Adam died, and 2, redemption was proved possible by Charlie Morningstar and her Hazbin Hotel. So now Lute doesn't really have a purpose in life, and she's kind of slowly going insane. More on that in the character analysis. Now, as for Eve. Oh, Eve. Where do I begin with Eve? POV, I'm God in the Garden of Eden. Do you have any idea how many scenes Eve is in? Do you have even an inkling of a clue? Go ahead and guess. I'll let you guess. Put the timer up right now, Malhair. Congratulations, if you guessed anything upwards of 1, wrong. That's right, this very important character that Hazbin Hotel's story, or at least the overarching story, has 1 scene. Not only that, she has 0 speaking roles, and the amount of time she does have on screen, it doesn't even equal to 30 seconds. Ignoring the fact that Eve somehow has less screen time than Jay from Murder Drones, Eve is Adam's second wife, not first, keep that in mind, and was given the apple, aka humanity's free will. And because of this, Lilith and Lucifer are 100% cast down into hell due to the existence of Charlie Morningstar, and also the fact that it's literally shown that they're in hell. But Eve is a different story. It's never explicitly stated that, yeah, she's down there, she's gone, she's not in heaven. But it's very much implied if you have read the Bible. Except in the Bible, they weren't cast down to hell. She was cast down onto the earth. Whatever, the point I'm trying to make here is this. Eve is not in heaven in Hazbin Hotel. She's very much not there. So, what evidence does this theory give to prove that Lute is secretly Eve? Well, for starters, Lute is obsessed with Adam. In pretty much every scene pre-episode 8 of Season 1, Lute is constantly with Adam. The only reason she wasn't with Adam in Season 8 is because she was too busy fighting Vaggie, and we all know how that turned out. But more importantly, even after Adam's death, she's still clinging on to his memory, so much that she starts manifesting a hallucination of him. The theory states that since Eve is Adam's rib, the reason that she's so clingy onto Adam is because, well, she is technically part Adam. Furthermore, another piece of evidence that also kind of coincides with this one is that in Gravity, Lute has this line.
You were there when they needed you, the only soul who's ever completed you.
Now, that was the strongest piece of evidence for this theory, but there's 2 more pieces of evidence that I want to talk about. For one, Lute has an extremely deep-seated hatred for demons. Like, it's even stronger than Adam's was. Now, this is either because, one, she was trained to be that way because she's an exorcist, or what the theory states is that because Lucifer gave her the apple, Eve, I mean, from this point on, I'm referring to Eve and Lute as the same character until I get to the debunking part, alright? Anywho, because Lucifer gave Eve the apple, and the apple had the many consequences of free will, Eve now has a hatred for demon kind, like Lute, because Eve is Lute. Or so the theory says. Now, this final piece of evidence is visual, but look, I'm not gonna lie, I don't believe this last part at all. If you look on Lute's uniform, there is a bloodstain that looks suspiciously like an apple. But only from this angle. Now you may be thinking, wow, that's some pretty solid evidence, Skeleton King. This theory actually seems pretty plausible. What counterclaims do you have that could possibly disprove it? Well, I have this little thing I was born with called critical thinking skills. Now, the first problem with this theory is actually the apple on the uniform thing. That is not an apple. That's just a bloodstain, I'm not gonna lie. That's you're grasping at straws at that point. Next up, we have Lute's hatred for demons. Now, yeah, sure, Eve could hate all of the demons in hell because of Lucifer's one singular action. But wouldn't it make more sense for her to just hate Lucifer and all the demons because they didn't do anything? Also, more importantly, the reason Lute hates the demons is because she's an exorcist and she's been trained that way to hate them because she's trained to kill them. Also, we can only guess what Adam put in her head when he was still alive, but I'm assuming it's probably nothing good. Now, finally, we have the strongest piece of evidence that might be a little hard to disprove, and that's Lute's strong connection with Adam. But that's more of a mental thing than it is I am spiritually connected with Adam because, look, I'm not gonna lie, Lute has some problems. I'm not a therapist. I'm gonna say this in the character analysis again. I am not a therapist. I'm not going to be a therapist, but I don't think I need to be a therapist to see that Lute has a few mental problems. Now, here comes my counterclaim. Here comes my big input on this theory. Are you ready for this? I'm gonna talk about Hazbin Hotel's writing. Hold on. I actually have good things to say. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like Hazbin Hotel has the best writing in the world. It really doesn't. But it's not as bad as people say it is. Sure, there is that one Alistair line that haunts my dreams for how bad it is. And in season 2, Charlie seems to be just a little on the stupid side. But I can explain, that's explained more as like naivety and not stupidity. I hope. But hey, at least it isn't the writing of Hammer Time 1 and 2. Am I right? I say all this to say that sure, some characters are naive. Some are just a little bit stupid. Adam, but there's not a singular character in that show you could convince me is so stupid that they wouldn't know that Lute and Eve are the exact same person. First of all, problem number uno, Sarah is there, and she will 100% know that, oh hey, that's Eve, that's the woman who's not supposed to be here, unless the idea is that she's also in on the deal. But then you have Abel, which Abel, that is your mother. How do you not know that that is your mother? But let's just say hypothetically that this little disguise, which is about as useful as a mustache and glasses, actually works. There's just this tiny itty bitty problem. You might know him. His name is yeah, I don't know what else to say, but you're not getting anything past him, buddy. Not gonna lie. But past that, there's a deeper reason why I don't like this theory.
Officer, I swear I didn't eat those explosives.
The reason I don't like this theory is because it kind of assassinates Lute's entire character and just makes her a, ooh, it's a mind with a twist villain, even though she already is a villain. She's a character who has flaws. She has, like, wants and, well, not very good wants, but still she has them. So you're telling me we're just gonna throw all of that away and be like, oh, I'm actually this character. Everything that mattered before doesn't matter. This twist would hold as much weight as, spoilers for Pizza Tower, Pizza Face actually being a mech for Pizza Head. Like, it's a twist, but who are you, Pizza Head? Although it works in Pizza Tower because Pizza Tower is goofy and you're not expecting some sort of twist because it's a goofy story. Hazbin Hotel is a serious story. Not like too serious, but it's trying to be serious. In another indie show that I really like, Murder Drones, Tessa is revealed to be Sin. But that works because it's not built up for the entire series. It's just built up between 2 episodes. Also, it pretty much makes sense because humans don't live for that long, if you didn't know. Look, all I'm trying to say is, if it's revealed that Lute is actually Eve, that's just why. That's just such a wasted opportunity of a character. I want to end this off by saying, I'm not trying to shoot down this theory. Yeah, it's flawed and I just don't believe it, but I mean, doesn't mean you can't believe it. I mean, look at my murder nose theory. That has so many flaws. Every theory has its flaws, you know? But I will end off by saying this. If this theory ends up being true in the future, doesn't matter when, if it ends up being true in the future, I will make a follow-up video apologizing, and I will buy 10 Charlie Morningstar plushies. Technically 9, because I'm giving one to my friend. Anyways, that's all for today. If you liked the video, go ahead and leave a like, and if you like my content, subscribe. And also, hype the video, whatever that means. I still have no clue how that works. For those of you who are already subscribed, the Helldivers video, the Lute character analysis, and Hammer Time 3, plus another project I'm working on, are coming soon and should be the next videos made if I don't have an epiphany and just decide to make another video. Yeah, that's all. Anyways, bye.